It was bound to happen. Welcome back. Yes, my face is cramping a little from smiling because you are here, but mainly because Pavs Pillay is here from WWF. She is WWF South Africa's Corporate Partnerships and Behavioral Science Lead. Just to hear those two factors in the same sentence gives me hope. A strong background in marine biology and a very deep commitment to sustainable practices. Pavs has been at the forefront of environmental change and advocacy. And she has worked across Africa in various conservation programs and is instrumental in shifting corporate behavior towards sustainability. Probably the most important battle being waged right now. And we're going to delve into how sustainable seafood choices can aid the WWF South Africa's larger environmental goals and the importance of behavioral change in both corporate and individual contexts. Can we get a rock star's round of applause for Pavs? Because you are a rock star. Every day I call for my live studio audience and I haven't got it yet, but thank you, cameraman. You guys are amazing. You are amazing. Thank you so much for doing what you do every day.
That's my pleasure.
I would love to get into the why of it, but we almost don't even have time. We've got to do because it feels like it is that. But I suppose we need to know where we can fit in. So if you had to give us an overview of WWF SASSI, the focus and what that overarching, our true north is.
Absolutely. So the WWF SASSI program is actually 21 years old, Prem.
Wow, congratulations.
It is, yeah, thank you. It's one of the longest running conservation flagship programs of WWF. And its entire purpose is to shift behavior around making smart choices, informed choices that are better for you and the planet.
And we feel like we're on a knife edge now. I think 40 years ago, we were on a knife edge. There was a certain documentary that came out regarding seafood that I think changed the game for documentaries, where we realized that we as consumers make choices that have an impact on the ocean. And we love to just blame corporate. And we love to just blame big business and capitalism and all these other things. But we are the reason, ultimately. We've got to change behaviors. But how challenging is that as someone who's got to sit on their soapbox every day and try and shift those big perceptions? How far off the mark are we?
Well, unfortunately, we're not meeting commitments. We're over 1.5 degree threshold already.
Wow.
We're not going to meet our SDGs if we don't start making very informed, quick, agile changes now. And when I talk about behavior change, people always relegate it to consumers.
Oh, for sure.
It's not. It's the behavior of policymakers, the behavior of big corporate and business, the behavior of consumers. It's everybody's behavior needs to shift. I always say to people, unless somebody's behavior changes, nothing changes.
Oh, completely, yeah. And don't talk about changing, show me that you've changed.
Exactly.
And that's something I use in my relationship every day. It's a human factor. It's not a big business factor. So that being said, how do we get this right? Because you need some key role players to jump on board. And I know the joy of this sort of space when purpose comes in, you don't need a huge amount of people to latch on to drive change. You just need that purpose and that passion. But we want to see a systemic change. How far away from that systemic change are we? I know you talk about shortfalls. Is the system right if we aren't able to meet it, or where is this falling down?
The system is, unfortunately, our food system is broken. There are lots of problems and loopholes. How we produce food has actually the biggest environmental footprint of any other industry that we actually make. So that's where we got to fix. So
how we produce food is the biggest impact
on the environment.
Wow.
Yeah, so what SASSI tries to do is to work the entire supply chain. So from fisheries all the way to consumers. So we work with big fishing companies, get them into responsible practices. We're not asking you not to fish. We're just asking you to fish responsibly. Think about how much you catch. Think about where you catch. Think about the fishing method you're using, what mitigations you can put in place. Then we talk about big business, right? Big business can drive systemic change.
Because that's generally a handful of executives that have to make a decision. That's 2 or 3 people that can.
So working with big retail, big business, how do you change your procurement strategies, your operations? How do you make the choice when there isn't a fish available or it's seasonal? You actually choose to say to consumers, sorry guys, we're not going to have this on our shelves anymore.
And value it more when it's in season.
Exactly. And sell. What we like to believe at WWF, we can make the green market the default as opposed to the exception.
Exactly. So that it's the slightly cheaper option because of those factors, because of what's gone on the back end of that system.
Absolutely.
I absolutely understand and get that. If we haven't been motivated to do this by now, when we look at the state of our oceans, the state of seabeds around poorer nations that have had to sell their oceans to handle debt, and I know I'm grossly oversimplifying here, but this seems to be how it's kind of playing out. Have we gone too far? Are we just trying to kind of plug a sinking bathtub here, or if we get this right and we invest in these sustainable fishing methods and these different ways of business, do you see a better future for fishing?
Well, Graham, I'm an eternal optimist. I don't think I would survive as an environmentalist if I wasn't.
I think that's probably the first thing on your CV, to be honest.
So, yes, we can make changes. It's not too far down the line. We can change how we buy seafood, how we eat seafood, when we eat it. Stick to seasonality. Local is lekker.
Yeah.
Support, build resilience in our own economies, in our own industries, support small-scale farmers and fishers. There's so many things you can start doing and doing with purpose and with commitment. And the same with business and the same with policymakers.
Well, we're seeing little microeconomies pop up. We're seeing whole little villages in South Africa running on crypto. So I think we can do anything here completely. And I think this move to a smaller microeconomy is going to be where we plug into locally sourced ingredients, where we know this person is helping that person and vice versa. I'm starting to see this as an investment in growing the future market, in potentializing. This isn't all negative. If we get this right, it means that not just future generations are going to have the fish from the seas, but we're going to do something massive.
Yeah, so that's the idea, is to have fish on our plates, to have business longevity and prosperity, but at the same time to have a plentiful sea. I heard you mention earlier you've got 2 little kids. I think as a father, you want to leave a legacy that your children can enjoy. This
I want them to be able to go fishing with their kids.
Exactly. I mean, I would hate to be able to explain to somebody, a few years from now what an abalone looked like and was like, or, what a red Roman used to be and how delicious fish curry it made once upon a time.
What was fish curry, Mom?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So those, we don't want to lose those legacies. We have a very rich culture in South Africa of both fishing and eating seafood. And it's ingrained in who we are.
Yeah, no,
so we don't want to lose that.
It's a part of our identity, and we're starting to be asked these questions, or a mirror is being held up in all spaces of conservation. But of course, we need someone very bravely to hold that mirror up. So thank you so much for being that.
My absolute
being
pleasure.
that voice. We will continue, and I've no doubt our social media team will join you as well. Chef Eugenie is here just to show off something absolutely amazing. Take a look at that.
Graham, I brought you something.
Oh, you can come back. You can come back. What is this? Please explain. This is gorgeous.
So that is sea trout with quinoa and horseradish on the side.
It is beautiful.
100% sustainable.
Yes.
Well, then I will taste it, okay? If Pavs hadn't given me the green light, there's no way. And you've done it exactly how I like my salmon. You don't understand. So I'm trying to do this without spreading
Food all over your shirt.
Oh, no, food will get on me. Absolutely beautiful. As a chef, how important is it for you to think about sustainability when you're working every day? Because you're in the heat of the kitchen, you're delivering meals, but you've got to think about the next 10 years, next 20 years.
You have to. Yeah, for me, it's incredible. I didn't know about the Sassy app at first, and then I did the Intel challenge, and that's where I've learned about the Sassy, the app, what fish you can use, what not to use, the sustainability, stuff like that.
Absolutely beautiful. And I think the whole day today we're going to be exploring sustainably sourced fish, what we can do with it, just to underpin how vitally important it is, yes, first of all, and it's our culture, so let's look after it. Pavs, I love you. I feel like I stole your breakfast this morning, but hopefully Chef Anlu and our amazing culinary team are going to be whipping up more. Thank you so much for this. This is absolutely beautiful. And the conversation is going to keep going. So head over to our socials if you want to inspire us with some great shifting ideas, how we can get consumers and big business to start shifting their mindset. Please weigh in. Okay.